bars in a rain. Man, I go hard like Santan.
What's up, guys? It's your boy Krish here from Kop End Fracas, and you're probably wondering why it's just me doing a solo video here. We're trying out a little bit of a new thing, so please do let me know and the rest of the cast know if this does work. We're launching a new part of our YouTube programming called the Daily Fracas. What is the Daily Fracas, you ask? Basically, what we plan for this to be is just a daily rundown of all the LFC news that has been in the past 24 hours. It'll be in a 10 to 15 minute increment, and we aim to give you as much insight from us as we possibly can. There'll be a rotating cast of hosts, but for now, I'm going to be your main port of call. So, please do bear with us. This is the most important thing I need to stress here. Please do bear with us if there's some initial teething problems and, of course, some scheduling issues. As you know, here at Kop End, we look to give you the best possible content on a consistent basis. And if our content is falling below what we expect to be perfect, we will never put it out. So please do let us know what you are thinking, and please do bear with us as we kind of get this process right, because we just want to give you, our wonderful audience, the best possible content that we can. So without further delay, let's get stuck into some Liverpool news. And Jurgen Klopp held his pre-match Manchester United press conference, and I'm going to read some quotes here from the wonderful Paul Gorst of the Liverpool Echo, friend of Kop End, Paul Gorst. Some great quotes here from Klopp from the press conference. He asked a wide range of questions, and he did seem a little bit annoyed at this one question, and it was mainly on the injury front. There was no updates across the board really for all of our injured players, so this mainly means that Nat Phillips will more than likely miss out on Sunday's match. He's been a bit of a really key asset for the defence in the past few months, realistically, and he's going to be a big miss yet again for this weekend. He's been sorely missed, in my opinion, in the games against Leeds and Newcastle, where the Reds have dropped 4 massive points, and it's been really shit across the board, really, the last few games. And it also means that Jordan Henderson is still out. For me, I would expect Henderson to probably out for the remainder of the season. It would be a bit realistic now for him to possibly come back. As we can all kind of attest to, he will have to come back and get up to some form of speed. He did say, in regards to Virgil van Dijk as well, as we saw the wonderful video of him kind of training, doing some sprinting to Fleetwood Mac, as was popular on TikTok earlier. I want to say it was earlier this year, but I'm pretty sure it was last year. Time, again, as I always say, has become a bit of a non-construct, really, and we're just floating around at the moment in this COVID era. He said that, there's a lot of steps that he's going to have to go through to be ready to join team training, and none of the medical team has told him in regards to Van Dijk or any of the other long-term injuries, Matip and Gomez being the primary two, to fasten your seatbelt. The boys are ready. So that would indicate to me that we're nowhere near any of the key lads that are out at the moment being fit or possibly making a little bit of an ambitious return to the side by the end of the season. More than likely, we will see them in pre-season. And I think that's for the best, really. I mean, yes, it is a bit shit for their Euro dreams, but it is what it is. We need them back in the best possible shape, and we need them to be in the best possible shape as well, just so they're raring and ready to go for the World Cup next year too. He also touched on Manchester United's form, which, again, if you did watch the game that they played against Roma last night, they were very impressive. Fernandes, Rashford, Pogba, they were all brilliant. Greenwood, when he came on as well, played really good games. And this was the type of quote that Klopp came out with from the press conference: "Whoever we play, they cannot and won't make massive changes. It's tough, but we've had these type of fixtures in other seasons, so it's just a fight. We have to fight." And I think that has to be the embodiment of what Liverpool needs to do now for the rest of the season. It's very cliche for me to say there's X amount of cup finals left, but it's all or nothing at this point, and it's been all or nothing for a while. But really now, you are relying on the gods more than ever in terms of results not going other teams' way, and then us kind of winning the remainder of our fixtures. So it's going to be a tall task. And again, furthermore to that, he had a bit more to say in regards to Manchester United. This was Klopp's quotes: "It will be a tough game, intense. We saw last night Manchester United we saw last night at Manchester United, and they are good, especially when you let them play. They were flying. I'm pretty sure United still feel they have a chance for the title. Both teams have to win it, which is a good recipe for the game. And that's kind of what this fixture needs, in all honesty, for both parties. I mean, it's a little bit of an outside chance that United probably can win the league this season. It's just been City's for so long now. They would be really odd if they did win it. But, never say never. It would pain me if they did, but you have to say never. But there's a massive pride factor for Liverpool here. And I will say they need to go into this game with a little bit of bollocks. They need to go into this with a little bit of hunger, a bit of intense, and not even to get embarrassed or not to get turned over, because United are really good. They've got fantastic attacking prowess about them, but just to showcase, the Liverpool of recent seasons are still there, and they won't be going away. They've had a down year this year, yes, but when we come back after pre-season and we start next year, we'll be back. And we'll be doing what we do best, and that will be challenging for the league and getting back on our perch, realistically. As this season has been a massive, massive write-off. Just in terms of the game itself, really, we did do a preview show over on our Patreon page. That is, of course, if you are new to Kop End, we do have our Patreon page, which is our paid service, where you get more shows, a guaranteed 2 shows per week, but we've been pumping out so much content, it is even more than that. So please do head over to www.patreon.com/Kop End Fracas, and just from as little as £3 per month, you'll get access to a whole wealth of content, including the preview show, like I mentioned there. But yeah, we did do a full Manchester United preview, which kind of turned into a bit of group therapy, in all honesty, just in terms of the recent performances. As you can see, the link is down on the ticker at the bottom. So please do head over to the Patreon page and subscribe for all the fantastic content. And we will be there with an immediate post-match reaction show after the fact as well. I want to just quickly close on one thing that Klopp did say. He talked about the missed chances, really, that it frustrated him a lot. We've had a recency in terms of being able to criticise Klopp, and I think rightfully so, for some of the moves he's made during the season. Some of the things have just been a little bit confusing. They've just been a little bit off the boil. But in the way he set out the team against Newcastle last week, he played a 4-2-4. It wasn't a 4-2-3-1. It was a 4-2-4. Very attacking, very aggressive. And the team did create chances in that first half. It really should have been probably 4-1, 5-1 to Liverpool. In all honesty, we had so many great chances and we just squandered all of them. And it's just it's so weird and just really, I can't think of the adjective to think of here. It's just really cruel. The goal we did score was possibly the hardest chance throughout the game from Mo Salah, and there were just so many sitters and so many clear-cut opportunities that our front four couldn't put away. And it was, it's sad to see Sadio Mane in this vein of form. It was weird seeing Jota kind of in this little bit of a rut he's in at the moment, and Salah was guilty himself as well. So yeah, there was a collective frustration across the board. He said he didn't feel not angry until 3 days after the match had finished. That's a long time to be angry. That means he brushed his teeth angry. He went to bed angry. He was angry about the situations that we find ourselves in. But yeah, and it's just, they're squandering these chances, which means they're squandering these chances to win big games and gain momentum against their rivals, which is really crap. And it's just a really, really poor situation to be in. So hopefully Liverpool can kind of go into this game of the weekend. I've not got really much to hope for all 3 points, but if they can give a good account of themselves, that's what we want, really, at the end of the day. I thought we'd kind of just tap into some of the transfer rumours that have gone around recently. More importantly, I thought I'd give you a little bit of an assessment of what I think personally in terms of these players we've been linked with, and kind of give it a rating out of 10. So in the past few days, we've been linked to a lot of players. Donyell Malen from PSV Eindhoven, Houssem Aouar from Lyon, a personal favourite of mine and most of the Kop End boys, and Dusan Vlahovic of Fiorentina. So let's start off with one of the guys here. So let's start off with Donyell Malen, who I think would be a really good addition to the Liverpool forward line. I think we can kind of stop daydreaming about killing Mbappe now, as much as it hurts me to say. I've been a big ambassador of Mbappe 2021 and Mbappe 2022, but I just feel like it won't happen at the moment. But in terms of Donyell Malen, you're going to get a player who is, not even a fox in the box, really. He can operate in those left-hand side positions. He can operate up front. And he's been a bit of a bagsman for Paris Saint-Germain, PSV recently. And his form this season has been fantastic. Whether there does need to be some kind of Dutch tax added on there, it's yet to be seen. But I was looking at his heat map earlier, and it is very on the edge of the box, inside of the box, kind of on that left-hand side, taking those positions, and of course, drifting in towards the middle. And mostly his XG shot map as well is the most important thing for me. And a lot of his opportunities are easy goals. A few of them are more difficult ones, but he's getting the encouraging thing for me is at 22 years of age, he's doing the things an experienced striker would do. He's getting himself in these really good high percentage chance conversion areas, and he's pocketing a lot of goals. And you can see from his stats this season how he's been a definite bagsman in the Eredivisie. I think he'd be a really good acquisition for Liverpool. Again, will there be some Dutch tax to add on to that? There's only one way to find out, really. But it all depends on price for me, first and foremost. I think something around 30 to 35 million for this player would be absolutely fantastic. And if I was to give this a percentage out of 10, not a percentage, a figure out of 10 for this to happen, probably give it somewhere around a 6 or a 7 out of 10. It would be very much a Diogo Jota type move. You are investing in a player at their kind of earliest inception, and then you're kind of forecasting their growth for the next 4 years. So it's going to be really interesting to see in terms of Donyell Malen how this goes forward, and if the Reds do have a vested interest in this player. The next player we're going to look at is a personal favourite of mine, and again, like I said earlier, a personal favourite of the Kop End Fracas team. It is Houssem Aouar. I mean, how can you not love Houssem Aouar? Such a young, kind of vibrant, brilliant player. Getting the right. He's such a progressive player, and he's the one thing that we're massively missing at the moment in Liverpool. You look at our midfield and the output, it's poor. Aouar can be the one to change that. He can do a lot of the stuff that Ginny does in terms of the ball retention and bringing the ball further forward. But he brings a nice positive progression with that game. And that's the one thing that we're missing. He big chance creator, and he's not afraid of getting himself forward and putting himself about in terms of letting off shots and taking off shots from distance. If we can get Aouar for around 35, 40 million pounds, that would be absolutely fantastic. I do have it. I'm not an ITK by any stretch of the imaginations, but he's very firmly on the short list of midfielders that we are looking at this summer, along with Florian Neuhaus of Borussia Mönchengladbach and Yves Bissouma. That's what I'm thinking about, even though I have the mental lapses now and then. Yves Bissouma of Brighton. The other name to look out for would be Ryan Gravenberch of Ajax. But for me, I could see that being one for 2022 as opposed to 2021. But there are vested interest in all three of these players. And for me, I think the perfect player is this man on the screen right next to me right now, Houssem Aouar. If I was to give this a likeliness out of 10, I would give it a 9. I think this possibly happens. He's going to be a really good player, and he's someone that Liverpool have tracked for a while. Let's just hope it does happen, because some progressiveness from the midfield. I'm hoping ideally he will be what we all assume Naby Keita will be at full fitness. So Houssem Aouar on the cards. Hopefully it happens, one for me. The last person we're going to take a quick look at is Dusan Vlahovic of Fiorentina. And for me, he's done a lot of fantastic work in developing his game this season at Fiorentina. His player profile, for me, he reminds me a lot of a bit of a throwback, if you remember him before his pre-injuries, Stefan Jovetic, who once played for Manchester City and Fiorentina, coincidentally enough, the Montenegrin international. He reminds me of a hybrid of Jovetic and Alexander Mitrovic, just in terms of the pure physicality. He's a big lad. He's not afraid of putting himself around, and he's very much your prototypical number 9, really. He's a fox in the box. He's a prowler. He's going to be in these goal-scoring positions, and he can take a penalty as well. For the price, possibly it might be one for me that might not happen. I think there could be cheaper options available. As I can see it being a situation where he probably doesn't start week in, week out. But again, he's one that we should definitely be tracking and definitely looking at. If you do look at kind of his positional analysis charts, a lot of his shots again do come within that kind of 12, 16 yard box. He does put himself a bit in the pitch in terms of dropping deeper, but he does predominantly operate within the penalty area, which again is someone we need in those areas for Liverpool, really, that can just put away shots on the rebound and be on the end of crosses from Trent, Robertson, and the other forward players as well. If I was to give this a likeliness out of 10, I'd probably put it around the 6 mark. It's a player that we're definitely taking a look at, but whether it happens, it's one to be seen, really. It would be one where if we missed out on a few other targets, we would probably go in fairly quickly for him. But so that has been the Daily Fracas. Please do let us know what you have thought of this show. And of course, please subscribe to the Touchline Fracas YouTube channel for all of your content needs from ourselves here at Kop End and the rest of the Kop End Fracas network. Again, please check out all of the rest of our content as well that we do have on YouTube. You can find our main podcast from this week as well, featuring myself, Ellis, and Glam, where we broke down the Newcastle game and talked about potential transfers on the back of that too. But for this show, we will hopefully see you on Monday for a bank holiday special, but we will definitely be with you with some more content on Sunday post Manchester United over on our Patreon page. Again, that is www.patreon.com/Kop End Fracas. Sign up today. You'll get access to that part and a lot more. But yeah, that has been the Daily Fracas. Hopefully you've enjoyed it, and we'll see you soon.